That's none of it over there, right?
No.
Nope.
This is not their first time combing through this pond in Central Park.
What is it we're looking for?
So here we're looking for the leafy pondweed.
For 3 years, Regina Alvarez and Daniel Atha have been on a mission that sounds impossible.
We are inventorying all the species of plants that are growing wild in Central Park.
Did you guys find something?
Yeah.
So what we do is we meet every week, pick an area of the park that we're going to do for the day, and we walk and we look.
Did you really find it?
Yeah. It's the grass-like plant down there, rooted on the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
This is the leafy pondweed. This is the first documented recording of this plant in the island of Manhattan.
In a park like Central Park, isn't everything just sort of planted and you know what to expect when you walk into the park?
No, you think you do,
Yes.
but you don't. What did we find, 5 species last week, I think, or something like that? We're still finding new species for our list.
Keep in mind, when Regina says,
All the species of plants.
she really does mean all.
This is all just grass, right?
Grass? No, this is a lawn with lots of different species in it. Look down here. Here's a plantago. Here's a clover. This is festuca. Here we have poa.
So how many species of grasses are there?
We started with a list of 23 species, and we're up to 46 now.
That's incredible.
So we've
That's a lot.
doubled the number of grasses known from Central Park.
Oh, look at this, look at this. So this is the fruit of a tree called the Osage Orange, which is right.
So what are Regina and Daniel's discoveries revealing about Central Park?
The animals that eat the fruit and then disperse the seeds, long extinct. They're from.
Well, it turns out to be a bit of a history lesson. Before the park was built, this enormous chunk of real estate in the middle of Manhattan was a mix of wetlands and lush forests.
So this plant probably predates the park. This is a big, beautiful, healthy patch of poison ivy. So you don't want to get too close.
I'll stay back here.
Fortunately, I'm not very allergic to it. This part of the North Woods in Central Park has maintained itself pretty well with a large complement of native species. Here we have a black cherry, and here we have red oak. Right over there is a red maple. These are all native species.
So this is kind of a picture of what this area would have looked like long
Even
ago
before
the-
Native Americans, since the glacier receded 10,000 years ago.
Then in the 1850s, the landscape architects Olmsted and Vaux transformed the site into the park we know today. Looking at their choice of plants, we get a sense of their vision.
This is the tree of heaven, Atlantis altissima, and this would have been planted in the 1860s for its tropical look, lush, verdant vegetation. That was part of the romantic tradition of gardening.
But over the last 150 years, the plant life in Central Park has evolved, often by accident.
This is a squash. This was not planted by the Central Park Conservancy. Probably grew up from somebody's discarded lunch, or a squirrel or a raccoon brought some piece of squash over here.
Also buried in here are some delicious looking berries.
It looks very delicious, but it's not good to have in this particular setting because it will spread out of control.
It's an invasive species.
It's an invasive species.
Elsewhere, Regina and Daniel are discovering that New York's native plants are making a miraculous comeback, all on their own.
This is the round-leaf shad bush. It's one of the rarest plants in New York City. It was last seen in Queens in 1967.
These discoveries are all the more amazing when you consider that this park is an island of green in the middle of the island of Manhattan.
Plants move. The seeds fly in the air. They hitch a ride on an animal. Nature doesn't wait around for us, you know.
Right.
It comes in on its own.
So what are we looking for right now?
What Daniel's looking for is the fruit of this hickory to make the specimen. It has to have flowers or fruit because that's how botanists identify plants. And all of our pressings go to the New York Botanical Garden,
Right.
where they go into the herbarium and they'll be preserved indefinitely as long as that herbarium exists.
Why is it important to document all these species in the park?
Well, first of all, it's what we do. We're plant people, we love it. Plain and simple, it's what we do, we love it.
That's enough.
But it's a lot more than that. You know, plants are often, especially in more recent history, plants are really overlooked. You know, we're animals, so we're very animal-centric, you know, but the plants are the basis of any ecosystem. They're the basis of the food chain. You know, they photosynthesize. Without them, none of us would be here.
And is there any way with a project like this to know when you're done?
Yeah, you're never done with it. You pick a date. You pick a date.
You just have
That's
to
it.
stop.
You pick a date, and then you stop.
Urban nature is made possible in part by the following.